Good evening, welcome to a match of Dota 2 where the team profiles are not activated, but it doesn't mean that I don't know which teams we have. We have got WhA versus uebelst on the Radiant side and WhA on the Dire side. It's gonna be a GosuLeague match, Division 2, game number 2, Season 4, game number 1, won convincingly by WhA, and we're gonna see if uebelst is gonna be able to take out a point in game number 2. I am not gonna be casting this match alone though, I will be joined by Zyori. Welcome to the cast. Oh, and since I already said that and already asked how you were, I'm gonna ask, do you have a pet?
Do I have a pet? I have many. There are 6 dogs in my house. 3 people, 6 dogs. It's incredible.
Wow, I was not expecting that answer.
Both of my parents are veterinarians, so yeah. Occasionally you'll hear dogs barking in the background, though I think they're all sleeping right now. But yeah, they're my IRL assistants, as I call them, the fur balls.
Yeah, I have sometimes my cat going crazy during a cast, but right now he's asleep on my lap, so that's my pet right there.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, it is. Actually, yeah, never mind. Let's not talk about pets anymore. So, we have got ourselves a game. We have got a ban, this time banned from the Shrek, who was not banned nor picked in the previous game, I think. Well, he was not banned, right? No, he wasn't.
No, that was one of the comments we made. Like, how is Lesh totally ignored here? Not picked, not banned, and I mean, these bans are pretty intense. Naga's the only one that makes sense to me. The others, Batrider and Chen in particular, I mean, they had a driving force in the last game, but as we would expect, Darkseer, TA, and Rubik, the first 3 picks, and that's, well, going to make for an interesting game, hopefully.
Yeah, although having said that, it's already, I mean, yeah, Venomancer and Darkseer, 2 heroes that are very powerful against the refraction from the TA. Enigma, also nice against the TA because those Eidolons will pop the refraction up as well. And you got the Vacuum Black Hole. Even though Vacuum got nerfed, well, in case you saw the match yesterday between Mouseports and Next KZ, game number 1, if you haven't seen it, you should definitely watch it because we have seen in that game that combination is still very, very powerful. And we're going to have a clockwork pickup here by the Radiant side. I mean, he got buffed in a way, like the effect from the cogs is always there, and you know, it's
I think the big thing from the cogs here is the level 1 difference. They buffed it across the board plus 2 seconds for each time. So that means at level 1, the power cogs will be up for 5 seconds. That is a ridiculous amount of time at those early levels. So I have high hopes for Clockwork in this game. Big Clockwork fan over here. So we'll see. Also, he got a buff on the strength growth as well, and that's one of the things we were talking about. PA, one of the reasons why PA has been picked up a bit more. So perhaps that buff in the strength growth will help Clockwork a bit more in this game.
Yeah, I have to say though, I mean, I really like WhA pick. They are going to do the same thing again by the looks of it. They ban out the Enchantress, making sure that Enigma is the only real jungle hero still in the game. And they're also banning out a Wisp. Interesting.
Not sure what to make of that Wisp ban, to be perfectly frank.
Maybe they were fearing a TA Wisp combination, it could be.
Yeah, very true.
Well,
there are certainly a few things that Wisp does pair nicely with. Ursa is kind of the one that comes to mind, Juggy as well, but they already have Veno picked up, so that's sort of why I'm scratching my head. If they were worried about Ursa, Veno's already there as sort of a counter, and I guess Wisp Juggernaut is something to be scared of.
Yes, that's definitely true. We have seen that from Skonus Elite. And Brewmaster, it looks like WhA really don't need any time to think about what they want to ban here. Queen of Pain was to ban out for uebelst, and they thought about that for a pretty long time, and were not given any extra time by WhA to think about their last ban. And I mean, if we look at lanes for WhA, we have got the Darkseer who's going to probably be solo lane, Enigma in the jungle, Venomancer could be a solo lane against the TA, but personally, I mean, yes, Venomancer can stay alive against TA, can even be aggressive enough to maybe get a kill if TA is not careful enough. But he's never going to be really that mid-hero that other heroes could be. So I'm hoping that there's going to be a dual lane mid for WhA, and then Venomancer there as support.
Yeah, they have a couple of options. The great thing about the Enigma pick is he can play a variety of roles, like so many heroes that are popular in our current metagame. As you mentioned, he could jungle quite effectively, but he could also play a bit of a suicide lane. Enigma does pretty well in the long lane because he can deny with that, what is it, demonic conversion, as well as pick up some farm with all of those extra Eidolons for last hitting. So it's hard to say what they're going to do with the Enigma. I think these last few picks will, of course, give us some, shed some light on that topic. Anti-Mage, though, going to be the last ban for our dire side. Team Obsolete, or, well, whatever they want to be known as here.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, they were the one that played in the first game, but apparently still afraid that they might give WhA Asian time to farm up their own anti-mage, or maybe just not want to put the effort into trying to shut that anti-mage down.
Right.
In the meantime, first pick going to WhA Asian. Oh, team fight, team fight, team fight.
Yeah, exactly right. Every single one of these heroes having a great presence in team fights. Even Venomancer with that ultimate, he synergizes so nicely with the Black Hole Ravage kind of combo. So my question is, how is our Radiant team going to deal with this? Last game we saw that huge disparity. One team with a lot of AoE disables, a huge amount of stuns. The other team really lacking in the stun disable department. And it seems like we're sort of falling into a similar trap here in this match. Rubik and TA don't bring too much in the way of disable. Of course, telekinesis is there, but and clockwork as well. Power cog, sort of a pseudo disable, and the ultimate has a stun. But yeah, I think they would be well advised to pick up some stunners here in these last two picks. I think Shadow Shaman may actually be a nice addition to this Radiant roster.
Yeah, I mean, we saw in the previous game, they, like you said there as well, I mean, they didn't have that many stuns. They had the Rubik as well as the Windrunner, but that was about all the stuns they really had. So maybe a Sand King would be nice as well. But, I mean, if we look at lanes in theory, every single one could solo lane. Clockwork needs to be the farmer on his lane, because otherwise he's going to be a support Clockwork, and that's, I don't think that's going to be working out. TA needs to be alone on the lane, most likely. Rubik could be playing both the support role as well as a solo lane, even though I'm kind of thinking he's going to be support, but we're going to see it because they're ticking into this bonus time, and they only have 25 seconds left to decide which hero they're going to pick up.
It's sort of, I mean, they would really benefit from a jungler, but as you mentioned, really only 3 big junglers in this meta right now, and they're all picked or banned, so that limits what they can do. And yeah, I agree with you. How are they going to lane this? I mean, could we even see maybe a tri-lane with Templar Assassin? Is that even a possibility here?
Well, it could be. Oh, that's a jungle hero going to be here. I was kind of hoping... Holy crap. Phantom Lancer. I mean, he got a slight buff, right? I'm going to cheat. I'm going to cheat.
Yeah, I'm cheating as well. All right. So, okay, his big thing, agility growth. Same exact thing as PA, went from 2.8 to 4.2. So what does that mean? Every time he levels up, instead of getting 2.8 agility, he now gets 4.2. That's a pretty big buff. That's like a 50% buff or so in agility gain. So that means he does snowball a little bit more effectively. I don't know. I don't know that I've ever seen PL in a competitive game. So I'll admit, plead ignorance on this one a little bit. I don't know what to expect with this Phantom Lancer.
I've seen it in combination with a Keeper of the Light, of course, PA Keeper of the Light combination, but it is a Death Prophet. I like this pickup, because right now, if there's gonna be a team fight, Death Prophet can just say, hey guys, here's my exorcism, we can have a team fight if you want, but we're gonna do it in my exorcism, and that is not something that the dire side will want to do. I mean, that is still gonna be putting them at a disadvantage for sure, even though they have so much team fight.
Yeah, the issue though, Death Prophet also really, and at least in my mind, needs to have a solo lane. She needs that experience, needs that farm to really be an effective presence in the mid game. And I worry a little bit, looking at how this Radiant team is going to set up their lanes. They're going to need a lot of farm, and I worry that their lanes aren't going to be as strong as they would like.
What do you think
I'm curious,
about
though.
TA solo, Death Prophet solo, easy lane, or mid, then TA doing the other one, and then Chill and Fast, Clockwork and Rubik going together to the top hard lane, and then Tsar playing
the jungle.
jungle.
Yeah. Oh, that very well could work. Well, that's certainly one way to do it. We'll see, though. It also kind of depends on what WhA Asian decides to do with this Enigma we talked about. Enigma playing a variety of roles, so it kind of depends on exactly how they want to do it. They're going to start off the same way, though, send all 5 up to this top lane, and presumably look to pick up another early Bloodlust, as we saw in Game 1.
Yeah, we do see Enigma picking up for Clarity Potion, so he's going to be going into the jungle, but he's going to be aggressive. Already picked up a smoke as well, so going for maybe an early gank or something. Let's just go over the heroes real quick, see who's playing what, because we have some switches in the roster since the previous game. For uebelst, we have now Tsar, who's playing a stand-in here on Nature's Prophet. He's, of course, an old-school player that you might recognize. We have Paz playing the Clockwork this game. We have Chill also standing in here, even though I do think he is an official member of uebelst, but he's going to be playing the Rubik. And we have got RMN playing the Templar Assassin, and I will leave only one. And that's a stand in Quicks, and he is going to be playing on the Death Prophet. I do believe he is one of the people that was playing yesterday in No Tidehunter and is actually going to Paris for ESWC.
Ah, very nice indeed. Up at the top, thought we were going to see an engage, but just some scouting out at that top rune. It is going to be an illusion, and a PL going to be able to pick it up.
Yeah, you want to do the introduction on the Dire team?
Certainly, right here. So we are Asians. We're going to have Venomancer played by, am I going to get the Hip Hop No Pop?
Hip Hop Not Pop, correct.
There we go. So Unicorn going to be playing the, I see the P, and I just want to say PA, because that's what we saw last game. The PL, Phantom Lancer, going to be played by Unicorn. RMC going to be the Enigma in the jungle here. In the mid, that does leave us with Crit playing the Tide. And last but certainly not least, it's going to be Crydasia here on the Darkseer in the long lane against the Death Prophet.
Yeah, and again, Crit in the middle, and again on the Tidehunter. I do believe, well, actually, this time he is playing the Tidehunter. Last time he was solo versus a Tidehunter, I believe. Was it that? Was it that? I think it was. Or am I now thinking wrong? No, Crit was the Pet Rider.
I forget who was playing who, to be perfectly frank. It was, yeah, well, it was Windrunner Tide solo mid, but I don't remember who was playing
Windrunner Tide.
Yeah, so, in the bottom lane here, Rubik, okay, taking a little bit of damage from the Ion Shell. This looks like some lane shuffling is going about. Rubik going to end up in the bottom to complement the Death Prophet. So that does leave us with kind of a suicide Clockwork here up against the dual lane, which is PL Venomancer, and I don't think Clockwork is going to be having a fun time. He's forced back. A nice aggressive lane ward's been put down by Veno. So Pos really going to have to play defensively up here, and for good reason. Furion is happy as a clam in the jungle, though. So overall, what do you think about these lanes? Do you favor one side over the other, now that we can see these rosters?
If we go over lanes, it definitely is the Dire side that has the top lane under control. I mean, Clockwork, he is a hero that should be fine. He should not die. He has the Crocs to help him out should someone try to chase him down. And he can try to get some last hit with Flare, but you already said he's not going to be getting levels that easily, so he has to be really trying to get in that experience range. It will be tricky, so it's the Dire side ahead there. For the middle lane, I would put TA in favor here, purely because of the refraction, and Tidehunter isn't that big of a counter towards her.
Yeah, and, but unfortunately, look at that farm difference, though. Tide actually coming out way ahead against this TA. Tide 11-2, TA only 7-1. And I would have expected that, at the very least, to be even, if not TA coming out a little bit ahead, especially given that Crit doesn't have a hatchet or a stout shield. Well, pretty incredible work to start things off here. It's already picked up that bottle.
True. And he is, of course, a very tanky hero, but I just think Templar Assassin should, in theory, on paper, be able to get the better here. And Crit does get forced back. I mean, he will be able to use his bottle as well as the 3 tangos that he still has left, but he will go through them quite fast, I think.
Yeah, definitely right. And to talk about Clockwork a little bit, he does fit into this suicide lane role very well. He can use that rocket flare to pick up farm from a distance, so it is a way for him to at least pick up some last hits here and there, but he isn't really doing it. I don't think he's really capitalizing on all of that farm he could be picking up. He's going to get one lucky creep here who's going to wander by. And I think he may benefit from having a ward down in the jungle somewhere here, just so he has some sight, so he can get a gauge on where Venomancer is, whether he can push up and be a little bit more aggressive, or if he needs to sort of hide with his tail between his legs at the tower. And until he gets a ward down, he's not going to have that option. In the mid lane, though, Crit going to get initiated on. Rubik going to come in, the telekinesis to start it off. TA not going to have enough damage to finish him. The rocket flare going to come in, but not going to connect. And Crit will be able to survive, so it looks like a little bit of a missed opportunity there for a kill in the mid lane.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised he actually was able to survive. I mean, we know Tidehunter is a tanky hero, but he doesn't have a shield and doesn't have his Kraken Shell skill. So, a bit of a failed gank, I feel like, from the Radiant side. Like, it should have worked out in theory.
Yeah, I agree, and unfortunately, just not coordinated as well as they would have liked. And I guess TA, or this early on, doesn't do too much burst damage, so I guess didn't do the math on that one, so to speak.
Correct, and it's, I mean, it's shown only level 4 so far. Tidehunter actually managed to pick up level 5 with the TA leaving the lane to get, or try to get a rune. Wasn't able to do it though, because had to send a bottle back instead. But, oh, now Chill, he managed to pick up the rune. He's invisible right now, looking for the opening again. Let's see if they're gonna get it. There's the donkey as well, we'll be flying away again. There were some extra tangos for the Tidehunter. Here they come. They should probably also TPing in. There's the telekinesis. Stun back. Fade Bolt. And he's going to try to make a run for it. Will be in time. It looks like he might be, though. He has boots.
Oh my God.
And the TA has boots too, but he doesn't want to chase. He is going to be fine.
That is a little ridiculous. Crit, I would call it luck, but it didn't really feel like luck. He kind of just walked away. He was tanky enough to absorb all that damage. And Furion falling into that kind of same problem TA. It was a noble effort. He poured it in, but what's he going to do? He's just got a little bit of right-click auto-attack DPS, and at level 3, it's really not that scary, especially since in the inventory he's just got an Iron Branch and a Ring of Protection. No Sprout either. If he had a point in Sprout, that may have been a kill, but without it, not much he can do. So now they've dumped quite a few resources in trying to kill this Tide. The amount of time wasted between Furion and Rubik in those 2 kills going to start to add up a little bit. Chill has definitely wasted a lot of time with these failed ganks.
Yep, and it looks like Crit just wanted to make sure that he's still alive and kicking and landing a gush up on our men, but yeah. We'll be back to farming. I mean, again, it just looks so simple, like all the initiations, burst damage went off, and then, you know, he just walked away. Yeah. It's crazy.
I agree. I thought it was going to be a sure kill both times, so I'm still a little bit surprised he was able to make it out. But PL, he is just farming away. He's in absolute free farm mode right now. 40 and 8 here in just about 6 minutes worth of play. He's already level 6. He does have those Tranquil Boots, already a Ring of Aquila, and he is in damn good shape. In that top rune area, looks like we're going to see an engage. TA was doing a lot of damage to Tide. Enigma going to come in. He is level 6, does have that black hole. Clockwork going to come, and uh-oh, that black hole not going to work while the battery assault is active. Power Cog is going to come out. That's going to trap Enigma. He's going to fall. Tide trying to turn to make something happen. TA going to chase him down. Crit will probably be able to survive this as far past bit of anecdotal evidence proves anything here. And whoa, he's going to turn it around. TA going to take a tower shot. The gush going to be enough to finish her off. I think she did get finished off by either the tower or a creep. The gold is going to be split, but very nicely done by Tide. Of course, he does survive to tell the tale.
Yeah, and in the midst of all of that, like at the exact same time, it was Darkseer that killed off the Nature's Prophet and actually got first blood. So even trading the mid lane and Great Asia, making sure that it's pulling towards the Dire side based on gold. Oh, nice silence up on the Enigma when he TPs out there. There's the telekinesis, making sure that nobody is going to be chasing that one. And now the Nature's Prophet, Iron Shed, are you dead?
Yeah, nothing he can do, and that is why Darkseer is so banned so often.
Yeah, he just runs along with you, and you cannot do anything.
Yeah, so unfortunately the tower just going to be slightly out of deny range, but pretty solid push. Of course, the Exorcism on Death Prophet doing some pretty serious work right there, as you pointed out earlier on. She can be a very scary hero, and she is second in farm, 40 and 5, only second to that of Phantom Lancer. So that is good news for this Radiant team. I have full confidence that Corobulus will be a little bit scary as this game continues.
Definitely. She has good farm, not as good as the PA though. PL, sorry. I have to say that, like, she had almost free farm as well, only Great Asia in the lane with her, even duo versus solo lane should give her almost free farm. Gale will hit on quick, so will they chase it though? Nah, Great Asia might be crazy though on that solo lane. Looks like he's going to be fine. We still see Enigma around that corner, and he's actually going to run into Tsar there. Oh, they're just going to turn around again. Templar Assassin still hasn't finished her face boots, so can't really go in on that as well. So we're just seeing people twirling around each other, but not really doing anything right here.
Yeah, I thought there might have been an opportunity for Enigma to engage something. He does have that black hole, does have plenty of mana, so they potentially could have taken a team fight, but not going to be too hasty. Going to take it, going to play it safe, as we saw in Game 1. WhA Asian is... Well, they always seem to sort of take that safe route. When in doubt, they disengage and save those cooldowns for another day. So I guess I can't say I'm too surprised to see Enigma kind of back out there. And they are going to rotate mid, and TA may be in a little trouble, though she is very wisely going to back up and play it safe.
Yeah, now does have her face with though, so she's getting to a point where she will be able to try to roam around a bit more and getting some kills. Of course, I mean, it will take a... I mean, yeah, maybe she wants to blink there before then, because of course she had an okay-ish start. And I say okay-ish because it was not a good start for sure. But she's not doing that bad in the meantime. And oh jeez, this Great Asia wants to go for chill. Might actually be able to do that. No, not gonna chase that one. That vacuum into 2 iron shells did so much damage.
Yeah, that if he'd been able to pick up that kill in exchange for the tower, he could almost write that off as sort of close to an even exchange. But they do at last pick up the tower. Death Prophet grabs that last hit, so that'll be her arcane boots, and she is continuing to be a bit of a scary presence on the net worth. Unfortunately, not as high as I would think. TA surprisingly high on that net worth, given her farm isn't as much as we would have thought, but. I still have high hopes for this Phantom Lancer. He has been so quiet thus far, and mean, what are you thinking in the way of item builds for Phantom Lancer? Because I'm still trying to figure that out myself.
I think he's gonna go for Relic and then Radiance, because of course, I mean, when you get your replicas up or your illusions up, you're gonna be farming so fast. And the main thing that is so scary about a Phantom Lancer with the Radiance, he is going to be able to split push you before you know it, and that's going to be towers going down. So on one side you have a team that can team fight probably your entire team. They can 5-on-4 if they get a good initiation up. They can 5-on-4 you and you're dead. And on the other side of the map there will be a Phantom Lancer taking down your towers one by one, and at some point that might even be your tier 3s or your barracks.
Yeah.
Very risky.
Absolutely. And I think that makes sense. Oh, Clockwork going to go in. There's the hook shot. It's going to initiate. He's going to catch two in the power cogs. Enigma and Venomancer are going to fall almost simultaneously. And Phantom Lancer are going to fall right behind. Tide's going to go in. He's going to blow the Ravage, but he's going to go down as well. This may be a 4-for-0 exchange right here. Clockwork needs to be a little careful. He's going to make it back. TA going to pick up that last hit, so wow. Great initiation from Clockwork, and pretty easy team fight for our Radiant team. That's going to change the state of this game a little bit. It seemed like they were starting to slip behind, but wow, talk about a swing. 4-for-0.
Yeah, I was so not expecting that. But that Clockwork, I mean, that really paid off right there. I mean, with the battery assault, there was nothing that Enigma could do. The Phantom Lancer proved a bit squishier than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And there was just really nothing they could do. In the meantime, Tier Tower getting harassed here. Phantom Lancer comes back. There comes the Exorcism, so Death Prophet doesn't really have to worry that much about her HP, even though she's still going to get harassed. Gale does miss, though. And there is the PA jumping towards there. And that's Quicks actually going down there. Trap lands on the Venomancer. Will be slowed down 50%. It's going to be the PA that's going to be the target here first. You're dead. And that is a 10 for Assassin, making sure that she makes good use of that melt damage. And the Venomancer, yeah, is just going to decide to defend his tower instead. And I do think it might still go down, though. I mean, there's still 3 heroes here on the Radiant side. And in the meantime, Darkseer, bottom lane, once again, picks up Clockwork, as well as... Was it just Clockwork? Just Clockwork.
Yep. Just Clockwork now. Oh, Veno back in the top lane, maybe in a little bit of trouble. Enigma going to come in. There's the Malphite onto TA. And this could end up being an interesting fight. Enigma's still with that black hole. Unfortunately, Veno's not level 6, so not going to be able to do too much damage. The tier 1 in the top does fall, and I think that will be the sign for a retreat here. It looks like Chill and RMN going to head to the side shop, and they're going to get the hell out of there. TA, though, just picking up that blink. That is always a scary sign. Speak of the devil, though, TA going to get engaged on and may be in some trouble. Rubik doing what he can, unfortunately low on mana, and doesn't have a whole lot. There's the black hole going to be burned. That'll secure the kill onto RMN. Maybe not. Clockwork going to come in. He's the hero going to save the day. There's the power cogs to keep Crit stuck in place. I don't think they're going to have the damage to turn this around. Uh-oh, is Poss going to fall? So many low heroes right here. And Ty going to be forced to disengage. So when it's all said and done, TA does go down. Yeah. A noble effort from Clockwork. Oh, Rubik going to be in some trouble. Yep, he's going to fall. And there's a beautiful vacuum. Clockwork going to get stuck between the cogs and the creep. Oh, that vacuum couldn't have been more clutch if he tried. That's going to make it 3-for-0 exchange here. So a nice turnaround by the Dire. Yeah,
they made sure that they didn't go home empty-handed. Also got the tower and that. And I have to say, I mean, I do think that the Radiant have had every time to pull out of there, but with the Clockwork still coming in there, I mean, that was just a mistake, actually. Well, in the end, maybe it started out well. Of course, he saved the life of the TA, sorry, but not really worth it in the end, for sure. I mean, I don't think they would have lost the tower if he didn't go in there either.
Yeah, I agree. It seemed like a noble effort at first, but yeah, it just didn't quite work out the way they were hoping for. In the mid lane, Darkseer going to get initiated on. There's a vacuum to group him up. He's going to fall. Gale going to come in to do a little bit of follow-up damage, but that'll be the end of it. So unfortunately, Darkseer getting caught a little bit too far forward. That surge is so powerful, but Furion does post a little bit of a counter there with the Sprout.
Look at Crit, though. That is a Ravage in the making. 4 heroes standing around him. He's got an invisibility room. When are they going to come in there? You need a bit of support, though. Where are your other heroes? There's also an Enigma standing by. Might be able to do something. Malefic's going off. Crit. Zara's going to be the target. Telekinesis there first, though. Still has the Ravage if he wants it. In the meantime, Enigma's already picked up with a TA, and the Ravage does not hit on the Native Prophet, so he'll be staying alive. Rubik does go down to the PL, and it's going to be Tidehunter now on the way out. The initiation could have been so great, but he dies by the hand of Quicks on his Death Prophet. Wow. Tier 1 tower drops, and it's 1 for 2. And it could... Oh, it's not over just yet. Oh, that's going to be the wrong one. Double block in the works.
I would call that a pretty big misplay from Ty, but we're going to hold that thought here as there's more initiation. Now TA, the one in trouble, a nice vacuum. I think she very well may go down here. Venomancer does so well against that refraction, as does Darkseer. So both teams here, it seems back-to-back, they pick up a kill and then they overcommit and sort of throw away that little advantage that they had. So although they did a nice job pushing that Tier 1, TA going to pay the ultimate price. Before that, just have to label that Ravage. Such a misplay. He could have blown it so much earlier. If he had connected with Furion, I think that would have been kind of a free kill right there. As Furion's still on gray boots, only hand to Midas. He is so squishy. Oh, God, that was painful.
Yeah, and if we look at the gold graph also, I mean, what you said, I mean, one team taking kills and then overextending, other team taking advantage of that one, taking kills, and then vice versa. And that's exactly what the gold graph says as well. It's like a yo-yo going back up and forth, and the experience graph the same, even though the last fight did stay in favor of we as Asian. It's just picking up a couple more as they are now, of course, 1 kill in favor overall.
Yep. Yeah, some other items have been picked up here. Darkseer's been able to pick up his Vanguard, so he's a little bit tankier now. And the other big item that's popped into the inventory of Quicks here is Mech. He also has a Vitality booster as well, so Death Prophet's starting to get pretty tanky. And I imagine he's going to be just working his way towards that Bloodstone.
Yeah, in the meantime, Nature's Prophet, he of course had his hand of Midas, so was trying to go for maybe a bit of a semi-carry build. We'll be getting some extra levels and experience in that jungle. And I would just want to check the gold per minute for a second, because I'm quite curious to see how he's actually doing. Well, not doing all that great, but no, he will be there at some point. It's not that bad. It is Quicks that is just highest up on there on the gold per minute. It's even higher than the Phantom Land, so that was free farm. But that's of course also because they are a tower ahead, and she did manage to pick up those tower kills.
Yeah, but yeah, look at that last hit difference though. This PL is really starting to get scary. 105 and 18 on the creep score here in 16 minutes of play. That is pretty damn good, and he has picked up an item, and I don't know what it is. Oh, there it is. There's a relic on the courier. So he's getting pretty close to that Radiance, and it's pretty timely as well. How much does he have in the bank? About 400. So he's pretty close to that Radiance. Something probably like the 18-minute mark or something. It's pretty good timing for Radiance on a PL, especially given that he already has a Ring of Aquila and Tranquil boots. So he's in good shape.
Yeah, I do think that we might soon see a fight incoming or being forced out from the Dire side. I mean, they have everything up. Maybe they want to wait for the relic, for the Radiance, but oh, wait a second. Quicks takes a gush. It's gonna be a Darkseer wall as well. There's silence. Exorcism being popped as well. Telekinesis up on the tide. No rabbits for you just yet. Nature's Prophet ultimate does a lot of damage there. Mechanism goes through though. Venomancer ulti as well, and it is Crit that goes down first one. And Quicks trying to get away from this one. Hook will land on Carnation, so he can't chase. A Ravage actually got stolen. Gets used. Venomancer died. Darkseer dies, and Quicks still alive.
Oh no, RMC probably going to die to the hands of Furion as well. That's going to make it a 4-0. Phantom Lancer, the only one left alive, probably saying to his team right now, what were you guys thinking? I'm so close to my Radiance. Just sit back and play defense for 2 minutes, guys. I'm almost ready to fight. That was just a gank gone wrong. That's the problem when Death Prophet starts to get a little bit of farm. She's pretty meaty, especially now that she went for the plate mail. She's got a lot of armor, and that's what happens when you fight inside of Exorcism. As you pointed out in the picking phase,
yeah.
Wow.
If she stays alive long enough, then yeah, she will do that. And of course, I mean, there was still a Venomancer ulti, there was the Ravage. The Black Hole wasn't there though, so that has to be noted, but there was a lot of damage going through, and of course it started off with that gush and the Death Prophet, but they used everything on her, and then the rest came in, and they just wiped them out.
Yeah, so we'll see. Things are starting to shape up for this Radiant side, though. I think you and I are both on the same page. Looking at these rosters, our Dire team, we has Asian, sort of looked a little bit better on paper. They have a little bit more team fight potential, and I'm kind of curious how that fight would have gone if PL was actually there to help assist, but he does have enough for the Radiance now, so it's just a matter of time. Hopefully his presence in these team fights will be the tide turner, so to speak, but let's take a look at raw GPM. TA is now passed, so it just hit that 400 GPM mark, and PL has been hovering around 450, 440, something like that. So TA is nipping at his heels in the way of farm. He started off with a lot of momentum. Hopefully he doesn't let go of it and let this TA take over.
Yeah, it looks like we might have a smoke up coming soon from Weization. They're first going to be finding the Clockwork. Phantom Land there, Malefice, gosh. Vacuum, pass, you're dead.
Easy kill there. Enigma going to be the one to pick up the last hit. So a little bit of overcommitment. That's the power of Vacuum. Despite its sort of recent nerfs, still an extraordinarily powerful ability.
Yep.
And we very well may see this tier 1 fall thanks to that gank.
Yeah, looks like they are going to be backing off with the Phantom Lancer. Now having his Radiance complete, but TPing to the bottom lane to continue his farm there.
Yeah, so now that he has the Radiance, again, what are you thinking in kind of ultimate free farm Phantom Lancer? What items would you hope to see?
He needs more attack speed. He needs more attack speed to get all those illusions up, because right now, the same thing as we saw with the Anti-Mage previous game, he's picked up Tranquil Boots, and he kind of needs the threads, either that or either Maelstrom or, you know, Salt Cuirass, something with a Hyperstone at least. Hyperstone is I think it's quite needed, or some kind of attack speed. I mean, even a Manta style would be a good idea.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Manta on Phantom Lancer synergizes very nicely with the amount of illusions he can already put out. So certainly Manta would not be a bad choice. I guess there are a lot of options, pardon me, and a little bit to each his own to some degree. I'm kind of curious about what Crobulus is going for. I was very confident he was going to be working towards a Bloodstone. Of course, you can split the Arcane Boots to help out a little bit on that front. But he went for the Plate Mail, now sitting on about 2,400 in the bank. Maybe he'll be going for an Assault Cuirass instead. I don't know, kind of an interesting choice to pick up the Plate Mail.
Yeah, well, she has been the one that everybody has been initiating on, so maybe that's a good choice. I have to say, though, I was also expecting a Bloodstone from her after that Vitality boost. I think we'll have to see what she's actually going to go for. In the meantime, it looks like we might have a standoff here. There's still a dust on the Venomaster, so I don't see him just yet. But yeah, tier 2 tower is already down. Only one tier 2 tower left on the side of the Dire right now. And Quick's already TPing to the bottom tower to stop Unicorn from split pushing, because that is the threat that they'll have to deal with every single time. Because she still had her ultimate up, as well as the rocket flying in, no damage done to the tower whatsoever.
Yeah, nice repel indeed. PL trying to do what he can, and a beautiful response. It's kind of exactly what they needed to do. That pushing power that they have is scary, though, with Exorcism up as well as the Furion trees. Once all these outer towers are down, there's only one tier 2 tower in the bottom, and after that it's going to be nothing but base time. And of course, Exorcism has a much shorter cooldown than the Glyph, so it can be very hard to repel that pushing power when you have all those trees in the front lines as well as a level 3 Exorcism. Could be quite scary. I think this Dire side WHAization here, they need to do something relatively soon. They still have a window of opportunity, but PL static farming is working for them for now, but pretty timely here. I think they're going to have to group up and start forcing some of these team fights, start abusing some of that team synergy that they have in their draft.
Yeah, we got a Mystic Staff being picked up by Quicks, by the way, so we might see a Shiva's Guard there, and actually the recipe is there as well, so that is indeed a Shiva's Guard, and Arman has got his BKB complete upon the TA.
You know, I don't know why. I should have seen the Plate Mail and just thought, yeah, Shiva's right away. I mean, of course, on Death Prophet it makes sense. A nice bit of tankiness as well as kind of a counter to PL. You mentioned that you know, he needs that attack speed, so that aura will help counter some of the effectiveness of PL in this game. I think that's a great choice for Crobulus.
I have to give credit to someone in the chat who said no heart, or if someone said heart, because Phantom Lancer actually picked up a Vitality booster, so might be going for a heart next. We'll see though, but
yeah,
personally I like more attack speed up on him, but I mean, it is right, like if there's gonna be a lot of damage coming out from the Radiant side, he needs to be tanky. It's just that simple. If he wants to be in fights, then he needs to be able to stay alive. It's very simple logic, obviously, but you know, it's a heart would be a good answer for that one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Manta style might be a kind of a happy medium between giving him some tankiness and also giving him some damage output. But obviously, Heart is the mecca of all things tanky. PL trying to do what he can to push this mid lane, but they are going to lose that tier 2 in the bottom. And yeah, this push is going to get repelled right away by Furion. So again, they're doing a nice job dealing with this PL and all the stuff that he brings to the table. Looks like they're considering a Roche attempt, but nope, just going to back out here. So.
Roche attempt, I feel like if they go for that, there is a divert there, and that is the perfect opportunity for WHAization to actually start a good team fight, because, you know, that is that clutch position where you can get a good black hole, good ravage, vacuum inside the black hole so everybody's in there, and, you know, just totally own an entire team fight, and I don't think the Radiant really is looking for that one.
Yeah, that would be scary. So I say a Kongor, or pardon me, a Roche attempt, I was going to say, well, this is going to be a bit of a risky play here, but they did back it on out. Let's go ahead and take a look at the graphs, though. And yeah, Radiant team pulling ahead nicely in gold, about 7,500 ahead, thanks to all of that tower pushing that they've been doing. Of course, all of the outer towers are now down, and experience is kind of leveled off, sort of like we would expect when you see that many towers down and lack of team fights. Pretty even. So, all things considered, still a relatively even game, despite that gold difference. I don't know, still waiting for that big, dire team fight to come about.
Yeah, that is definitely true. I have to say, I think this experience graph just looks very funny. Like,
yeah, it is.
It's a lot of straight lines, no real back and forth. It's either up or down or even.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sort of weird to see it plateau quite like that for the last, I don't know, 10 minutes or so almost here.
Yeah.
So overall, it's been pretty static. Again, I sort of thought PL would give up on this static farming a little while ago. I thought being able to pick up that Radiance nice and early would be the golden ticket for him and the rest of his team to group up. But they seem very confident that if Unicorn farms long enough in the jungle and in these open lanes, that they'll be able to just overtake the carry efforts of TA. And by the way, Templar Assassin has picked up a BKB now, which is, well, certainly good news for him.
Yep, able to at least deal with some of the team fight. Of course, he'll still be in the black hole if it goes there, but you know, at least the Ravage won't do that much anymore, as well as the damage ticking through, which is pretty big. The Refraction will be able to stay on with the Venomancer not being able to do anything there anymore. Venomancer, who by the way picked up a Gem of Truth to deal with all the traps coming off from the TA. All those assassins.
Yeah, continuing on with the items, we see Darkseer has now picked up a pipe, so that is absolutely huge for this dire side. But on the opposite side of the coin, Furion has gone the Necronomicon route, and he has on level 3, so we've seen them pushing quite aggressively, and that does synergize quite nicely with kind of what they're going for here. They are going to go for this Roche kill. Let's take a look at the dire vision. And do they have any sight here? They actually do. There's a ward up on the high ground, so they know what's going on, or at least they should. And Roche going to fall very, very quickly. No challenge going to come their way, and that's going to be a free Aegis for TA.
I'm quite surprised about that, to be fair. Maybe they figured they wouldn't be there in time, in which case they probably were right, but not even going to try to do something. That could have been their perfect opportunity, and right now, I mean, the gold graph is kind of telling the story best right now. I mean, experience graph, yes, we've seen it being kept fairly even though with that Roche, it goes up a bit again, but it's just steadily going up. It's just also, of course, map control going the way of the Radiant team. It's giving them a lot of farm. And we right now see we as Asian, there's 4 people inside their base, and there's only 1 farmer, and that's the Phantom Lancer. Yes, it is a hero that you want to have farming because you know he will be able to maybe turn that game around if he gets farmed enough. He's got now 3,700 gold, but the rest is not farming at all.
Exactly, and they're on a slippery slope right now. They're putting a lot of eggs in the basket of PL, so to speak. Enigma's now picked up his Blink, so perhaps there's been a lot of things in this game that I thought will be the green light for when they want to start taking these team fights, but Blink on Enigma is certainly huge, and they're kind of running out of time here. They're going to have to take a team fight at their base because Exorcism's popped and, well, they're knocking on their front door. Diffusal Blade's been picked up by PL, the glyph going to be used. I think this may be their time to shine.
Indeed. I mean, the thing about Exorcism is you only have to walk up, like, for a second, hit the tower, make sure all your spirits go there too, and then go back again. Actually, there's a blink in. That is the black hole. Already getting interrupted, though, by the telekinesis. Ravage going through there, and that's a black hole getting stolen, and this one catches 3, and no interruption there. And that is a Venomancer down, Enigma down, Phantom Lancer even down, as well as the Rubik on the Radiant side. But the Darkseer went down there as well. The only survivor from the dire side is going to be that Tyrantche. So it's 1 for 4, and that is going to be the end of the tier 3, and probably also the barracks.
Yeah, absolutely. PL unfortunately bought that Diffusal right before that fight, so he doesn't have enough for a buyback. That's why we see pro players pooling their gold so often, so that they have enough for buyback, just in case something like this happens. That Diffusal not enough to turn the tide in that fight. TA actually almost going down, 11 hit points to spare, of course, does have the Aegis, but a very close call. As well in that team fight, Rubik, I think, was the hero. That black hole was so big. He interrupted the initial black hole, stole it, then got another one off that went so much better than Enigma's original. So he did go down, but very nicely done. They're going to continue pressuring, though. They want this tier 3 up in the top lane. Power Cog is going to come out, and we may see Crit fall here. Nope, he's going to be able to make it out. But despite continuing, there's the Sheeva is going to be used by Death Prophet. The tier 3 going to fall, and that may be enough to force them back. But talk about a successful push. Whoa, a huge vacuum. That's going to pull him back. That's going to be the end of the Aegis on TA. It'll also be the end of Death Prophet. They may be able to secure another kill onto TA here. He does have a blink. trying to make it happen, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get away.
Gosh still lands. I shall make sure there's no chance for the refraction. Malefice there's one. He is dead. Darkseer getting a double kill for that one. And I mean, I was gonna say, like, okay, they came back, but I didn't have the Ravage, they didn't have the Black Hole, but still able to fight it off. So, good job for that, for not losing their top barracks. But that middle fight, that was... I have to give credit to Rubik here, because that Black Hole stolen made that entire fight. And Enigma going in without... Really I mean, I don't think I saw a vacuum after that Black Hole. So, no vacuum Black Hole, only catching 2 with the telekinesis still there. Rubik not in the Black Hole. And if you are an Enigma, and you are versus a lineup that has got a Rubik, one thing is the only thing you have to do. Make sure Rubik is in that Black Hole. Otherwise, he'll steal it, and he'll use it against you. And that is exactly what happened.
Yeah, it was beautifully done. Really, the thing that flipped that over the edge for just Rubik, you are my idol right now, because he was actually the one that interrupted it too. So it was like a double whammy. And I'm going to shut you down. Now I'm going to give you a taste of your own medicine. Just very impressive to see that. Yeah, I think Rubik being banned out right away is definitely well, something that has a lot of validity behind it, because he is just... How do you deal with that? You know, like you said, you just have to catch him in the ult. If you screw up just a little bit, misplace that Black Hole by just a fraction of an inch, he is going to make it rain all up on you. Yep.
It's just, I mean, it's a hero that can throw everything against you that you can throw against him. It's basically that simple. And that's it's just very tough to deal with. You have to make sure that you either use your spells when your ulti, when you know his ulti is on cooldown, or, you know, those kind of things. It's... Yeah, or you have to kill him before, because in theory, if you shut him down early, if he doesn't get the early levels, he is a pretty squishy hero.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, he is squishy, but wow, can he get out of control if you leave him unchecked. Yes. Some other items have been picked up. Clockwork has now been able to pick up his Oggs, so that gives him a little bit more versatility. Of course, his ultimate with a ridiculously low cooldown. 15 seconds with the Scepter, so... That's good news for him. They have a lot of initiation power, and you know, Clockwork's actually been pretty quiet at the beginning. He kind of got shut down, but he's made quite the nice recovery here. And Rubik actually going to go ahead and pick up his Blink as well. So we'll have even more initiation power here for our Radiant team.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm looking at the net worth, even though now it's changed again. Oh, smoke up for the dire side. I was going to say that Phantom Lancer looks very high up there still, but it's now Quicks that surpassed him. And we're going to see an initiation coming out here on the top lane. Surge in. It's going to be Crydacia. Vacuum in. Ravage is there. Phantom Lancer ulti. Black Hole. That's what they've been waiting for. Catches 3, but is there enough damage to go through? Unicorn a bit late into the fight. Nobody died just yet. Enigma trying to get out of this fight again. Being harassed by the Exorcism Spirits. It's going to be tied onto that. Will not take a fall. Oh, there he goes. Tied onto as well as Nature's Prophet takes a fall. There goes the Betterman. So TA is going to get picked up here by the Dire. 2 for 2 right now. As we still see Clockwork around here trying to make his way out of his power cogs. Should be okay, as well as Quicks and Rubik. So it's going to be staying 2 for 2 for this one. And I have to say, a good initiation coming off from the Dire team. It's a shame they weren't able to pick up more, but I do think that was also because there was just not enough damage to go through the Black Hole, through the Ravage, Unicorn. I think he was a bit too slow with getting in there. With the Surge, the Blinkins, he just didn't have that.
Yeah, exactly. Really the tide turner, though, I think, was the fact that the pipe for the Radiant team went off right before the Black Hole. The Ravage, and I saw that green come in, and that's what absorbed so much of that damage. And I think that's ultimately what kept them alive. That 400 absorbed damage on pipe on the whole team is just so big, and that's what allowed them to make it a 2 for 2. But the Aegis was burned as well. So, beautiful initiation, though. As you said, it's a shame that they weren't able to capitalize and pick up a clean sweep, which would have been much more impressive after the beautiful initiation.
Yep. I mean, Quicks has picked up a heart, so that's was his next item.
Yeah.
No gold for buyback, though. I have to add that. So giving that one up for that one.
Yeah. He is damn tanky, though, and there were a few people in chat that called that one right on the money. You go for the Vitality booster first, straight into Shiva's, and then just finish off the Heart of Teresk, and it seems to be working pretty well. This Death Prophet, as you mentioned, on the is actually still leading the way, not by much, toe-to-toe with this PL, but that is pretty damn impressive given how much time PL has had to free farm in this game. Looks like Absolute, though, not going to waste any time. They're going to group up, and they're hungry for another lane of racks. They I suppose sensing that PL is going to start to get even more out of control. He's got 4K in the bank. They want to end this game as quickly as possible, capitalize on all that pushing power. They've got an Exorcism, they've got an Necrochromicon. They're ready to make it happen. Yeah, and of course no Black Hole, no Ravage up on the Dire side. They're still going to try to fight though, but the pipe is up already. Going to try to stop these creeps from going to the barracks. Venomancer already getting silenced. Darkseer roll up as well. Vacuum inside there.
Nature's Prophet ultimate bouncing through, and it's gonna be the Phantom Lancer that goes down first. Buys back instantly though. Darkseer goes down, buys back as well. Venomancer taking a lot of damage here. TP out, interrupted by the Ravage for Tar. And that is gonna be Quicks on the way out as well. Telekinesis, Steel Punk Crit, and Crit now on the way back. And Nature's Prophet still able to TP out of that one. Clockwork does go down to the Darkseer who bought back. Gush still lands, and that's gonna be the TA finding. The escaping Tidehunter was gonna be put inside a Malefice. Darkseer there as well. Will got taken down. Vacuum does not catch anything anymore. And the TP out from Quicks as well. I have to say, right now we see 2 for 2, but both Phantom Lancer and Darkseer died there as well, of course, and bought back.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
2 for 4.
So a nice defense, I think we could say, but they're really up against the ropes here. We have Asians. Yeah, we has Asian. Really, they're running out of time. Another push like that, if they don't have a buyback on PL, then I think this top lane of Rax is slated to go down. They had everything on their favor that time except the black hole. Of course, the glyph was really the saving grace. But they have been doing a good job trying to shut down this Crobulus. As we saw in that fight, he popped the Exorcism, did a good bit of damage, but he got dangerously low and was forced back, so that was one of the problems. With Absolute right there, they just didn't have that Exorcism damage for about half the fight or so.
Yeah, correct. And they're actually back to farming right now. And Death Prophet, oh yeah, she already had. I was almost confused, like she had a mechanism, but yeah, she did have the mechanism the entire game. But yeah, this Phantom Lancer, look at this, like the illusions pushing on top tower. He's not even there himself, but he is going to be able to put a big chunk of damage on this tier 2 tower if he wouldn't be getting stopped by Quicks right here, who just obliterates the entire creep wave. But that's the power of the Phantom Lancer. He can continue doing that. I mean, you have, of course, on the other side, Nature's Prophet, who's going to be able to push the lanes out as well. But he's not going to be as effective as he normally would be with that PL on the other side.
Yep, absolutely. Roche just about to respawn, though. We see well, our Radiant side scanning it out. Veno actually with a Plague Ward down there as well. Roche going to be up in just a matter of seconds. And that could be the place we see the next battle. I think if that Aegis ends up in the hands of Templar Assassin, that could be kind of the nail in the coffin to secure that top lane of Rax. However, conversely, if it ends up in the hands of the Dire on that PL, that's going to make things a little bit scary. If they can repel another push and then counter it, they still have a chance here. That Heart is now finished on PL alongside the Diffusal Blade, so he is pretty damn tanky. The longer this goes on, the more difficult it's going to be to shut him down.
Oh, for sure. Oh, Cork's going off. It's just illusions, though. Just illusions. But yeah, it's, I mean, if we look at the graph as well, pause, coming up from the Radiant team, 30 seconds, the gold graph kind of peaked at 14k, and then it started to slowly drip back again. And the thing about gold graph also, I mean, as long as you're keeping even, then you're staying ahead, and right now it's going towards the Dire side. So Dire side are definitely gaining momentum back. Experience graph, it never really was that big of a difference. I mean, 7,500, yes, it's nice. And now dropping back again towards 5k, but really at 36 minutes in, that's not really a difference. And we're mostly going to see that back in the levels, and it's actually the Phantom Lancer that's level 21, highest level in the game, 2 levels higher than the highest up on the Radiant side, so big difference there.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see. The saving grace is that one lane of Rax is down in the mid. If they can just secure that top lane of Rax, that makes things so difficult. In my mind, I always think one lane of Rax, you can still come back if you have a hard carry. 2 lanes of Rax, it's going to be really damn difficult. Because pretty much at that point, you need to have someone on defending duty almost full time. So that does limit what you can do. You can only take fights inside your base, and that generally means you're going to start to get out farmed. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see our Radiant side here just pressure up and kind of go for almost an all-in just to finish off that barracks. And as long as they can break even in the team fight, they'll come out ahead. But as we were mentioning, Roche going to become a driving factor in the upcoming moments here as we see kind of both teams kind of grouping around the Roche pit. Yeah,
with the smoke up for the Dire side, so they're really looking for an initiation, an opening. They can't go in first though, because of course that trap is there, and they probably are expecting that trap to be there as well. But right now it's going to be TA that's already open battle, open hunting season for Roshan. And the rest from WhA just standing by, waiting for their chance.
All the cooldowns are up. They've got Black Hole and Ravage. It's just a matter of initiation.
Yeah, traps are popped though. They know that they're there. And of course Enigma has that Gem of True Sight, so the traps won't be able to stay there that long, but it's still, yeah, they know that they're there. They know where everybody is, especially with the rockets flying as well. It's going to be really tricky who's going to initiate first and who's going to be getting the advantage. Of course, Clockwork can initiate with his hook if he wants to. There is a blink dagger from the Enigma if he wants to, but he kind of needs the Darkseer there as well. It will all depend on the positioning. It's already being very low, and there they go. Quick's going to be the target number 1. Puffed his ulti as well as Sheeva's guard. So far, Crit looking for the Ravage, forces himself in. There he goes. Lands a gush up on Chill. What mechanism is there? Making that damage undone, and Tidehunter goes down. Star still taking a lot of damage, going down here as well, just like his Venomancer. Death Prophet double kill, and Death Prophet now getting stunned, trying to get out. Black Hole on the backside, picking up the TA, getting stolen by Chill though. Black Hole catches the 3 remaining heroes on the dire side. Dust being popped, Chill's trying to get out, Vacuum back in, goes down. Unicorn trying to do what he can, gets a surge, might be able to stay alive here, is still dusted up. The hook is gonna hit, and Death Prophet comes in with a wave and kills him off, and the only one left alive is Asia, and a buyback from the Enigma right now, and they're not gonna go for Roshan, no, they're gonna go for Barracks by the looks of it.
Yeah, it looks like they are ready to end this right now. That was such a chaotic team fight. PL going to be dead for 70 seconds. He does have enough for a buyback, I think. He's got about 2,300 in the bank, so he may very well... I don't know if it's off cooldown here. But wow, talk about a chaotic team fight. Furion being able to buy back and then port right back into the battle was so huge. That helped turn the tide. And of course, Rubik stealing the Black Hole again was what really was the nail in the coffin. Now this top lane of Rax is going to fall. PL going to buy back. I don't know what he was waiting for. He's back in the game after the racks are already down, and yeah, they're going to be able to just back up. I think they're going to be very happy with those racks, and they're just going to reset and save it for another day. Clockwork, though, he might not be so lucky. He's going to get caught, and yeah, he's going to go down. So that is going to be a free kill, but I think they'll trade Clockwork for that top laner racks any day.
Yeah, true. He tried to still hook his way out, but missed that hook, unfortunately so. And I think by that time he realized, oh crap, like, that missed, so I'm dead. Buyback from Clockwork though, because maybe they think Roshan is still, of course, a prize to be taken. And we see the TPs going up. Boots or his travels just a Nature Prophet. He's gonna push the lane out first. He actually managed to pick up the gem after the Enigma died, and right now, because of those buybacks, and there goes WhA's Asian. Back to their base, back to defending.
Exactly, and this is what I was talking about. Once you have 2 lanes of racks down, you have to keep people always on duty. I mean, you do have a little bit of breathing room as far as your other structures, your huts and your buildings, what have you. And you have those 2 base towers, but you have to be very wary of how much damage you let those towers take while you're out fighting about the map. It's going to be so hard for them to deal with this Roche kill, and even if they try and pose some sort of a defense to get that Aegis, it's going to cost them. I think they're going to be hard-pressed to do it. Of course, Black Hole's still on cooldown. So there's very well maybe a Roche kill in favor of Absolute here. And TA just sitting in the front lines, and yeah, he's going to be able to pick up this Aegis. They're going to come in, though. Are they going to get here fast enough is the question. Gale going to come down. Oh my gosh, Enigma pops in. He grabs the Aegis. Are they going to be able to make this happen? Venomancer taking a lot of damage. Enigma going to burn the Aegis. He's going to go down. Veno going to fall as well. It looks like Tide. He's going to be able to get a Ravage off, but it's not going to be enough. Darkseer Wall will be enough to finish that kill onto TA. A chaotic team fight. The Exorcism doing so much damage, though Prophet does go down. And uh-oh, Death Prophet now maybe short to follow. He's trying to do a lot of damage. It's not going to be enough, though. This PL just tearing into him. He's on the run. PL still with a huge amount of health. This is so scary for our Radiant team. Uh-oh, Quick's going to try and turn around here, and they're not going to be able to set up the Hulk. Going to heal him back up to full. Clockwork going to throw in a rocket. We're going to see Rubik fall as well. Beautifully done by that Enigma right there. That defense was much more effective than I thought it was going to be. Likewise.
I mean, he stole the Aegis, died, yes, but, you know, that doesn't really matter. And he actually managed to kill off the Temporal Assassin, as well as the Rubik in the end. So, good trade for them, I feel like. At the start of the fight, I was thinking, okay, this is going to be ending badly for the dire side, but they managed to pull it off quite perfectly, actually, and just show they are not out of this game just yet.
Yeah, absolutely right. And there's either someone at my... I don't know if... Can you hear the dogs barking in the background?
Yes.
I do apologize. All right, I'll try to mute myself in between. I think someone may have just come home. So
I don't hear it that loud, though, so it's okay.
Okay, great. Yeah, they'll settle down in a moment. My apologies, though. But yeah, a great defense, and unfortunately they're not going to be able to counter-push and take a set of racks themselves with all of these Tier 2 towers still up. There's plenty of breathing room here for our Radiant side. All 3 of these Tier 2 towers are just about full health.
Yeah, and that's going to be extra painful. I mean, indeed, like I said, I mean, even if they win a fight, and I have to say, like, last fight was kind of won by them, to be fair, but they weren't able to take anything in return, and even if they are able to get something in return, it's still going to be Tier 2s rather than Tier 3/barracks, so they have a long way to go. And this game, if they are going to be able to make it through this And then it's far from over, but right now, Phantom Lancer still farming, and now definitely pulling ahead of the Death Prophet, 2k ahead, and the net worth, of course, you know, 2k is not that big, 42 minutes in, but he is pulling ahead. He's got 4,500 gold. I have to say, I don't know what he's gonna go for next. I still think something with the hype and something with more attack speed will be very deadly, because he already is tanky enough right now. He just needs to be able to now have the strength to peel people off before they kill him. And we're gonna see what he's gonna go for. In the meantime, we have got everybody of WhA Asian grouping up on that bottom lane, obviously, because they don't want to wait anymore. They are at their strengths now, and they don't want to be giving that Phantom Lancer time to farm, and they're gonna be trying to go for that tier 3 tower. In the meantime, WhA Asian, they smoked up. They're gonna go for this.
Yeah, they want to make something happen. Are they going to be able to find that initiation, though? That is the question. And we'll see. It's all about the initiation power, about which team can catch who. If Rubik can stay outside of the Black Hole or the Ravage and steal one or the other, I think that may be the golden ticket for their team. Maybe if Clockwork can catch a nice hook shot as well. Looks like they're not going to find the engage. They're just going to back up into the base. And that's going to be it. We see some action happening on the mini-map right there, and they are just going to group up and try and make this happen. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Oh, it looks like a smile. BKB up on the Death Prophet, by the way, so that's a slight change, I believe, since the last time, so no more Ravage for her. And that will make a difference, and they're still slowly but steadily making their way towards that top lane. Everybody of WhA Asian back inside their own base again, getting ready with the Ravage, with the Black Hole. We see the positioning of Enigma really waiting until they're ready to go. I think it's just waiting for the creep wave, and then putting the pipe up, and then just go and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly right. It's they need to be very careful. They need to make sure to stay spread out here as well. It's going to be all about getting that pipe off before the Black Hole / Ravage come out, as we saw in some of those earlier team fights. And looks like the initiation is going to be there. Furion going to go up a bit too far forward. He is going to get the pipe off, going to be able to drop his ultimate as well, and that's going to be enough to initiate the fight. Going to see Crobulus go and pop the ultimate. The Exorcism doing a hell of a lot of damage. Veno going to be the first to fall. Tide maybe short to follow. He's still got the Ravage yet to blow it. I don't know what he's waiting for. There it is. It's finally going to come out, and it looks like that'll be enough to finish off Crobulus. Is that going to be enough to finish off Clockwork as well? Yep, he's going to go down. That's going to make it a 2 for 2 already. TA dangerously low, going to come in, maybe able to finish off Enigma here. They're going to be on the defensive though. Phantom Lancer's still alive, and he's going to chase them down. Unfortunately, they're not going to get the fight they were looking for. Rubik going to fall. Furion just going to port. He was going to port, and then made it back to the base. There we go. So, yeah, nice hold from the Dire.
Definitely. I have to say, I was not expecting that. I mean, the initiation was just very good with the BKB on Quicks, and he was just so very tanky, but they didn't focus down the Tidehunter, so as soon as the BKB ended, he still managed to get off his Ravage. And the Black Hole wasn't even used there, and still they managed to quite convincingly win that team fight. And it felt like there were two different fights going on at the same time, and I think that if for the Radiant team everything was fought at the same location, like all inside the base of the Dire, that would have ended better than the way it did right now.
I agree with you. And having your Furion get caught a little bit too far forward is really not the way you want to engage that fight. You really want the hook shot, I think, and catch somebody with the cogs, perhaps. But it is a scary statistic to note that the Black Hole wasn't used right there. That's a really big set of disables. Furion, what are you thinking, buddy? Up way too far. He's going to try and port out, of course. They are going to have the DPS to take him down. So that'll be another free kill here for Team WhA Asians.
Yeah, and I have to say, he was, like you said, he was way too far up there, and they don't have that map control as in ward-wise. They don't have anything. Of course, Enigma has been running around with a gem for a long time, so it's going to be tough regardless. But at the same point, Enigma has been fairly scared inside his own base a lot of the time, so if you get wards up on unorthodox locations, they might be able to stay alive long enough for you to take advantage of that. We have a drawing on the minimap coming off from Nature's Prophet that is dead. Has been thinking about strategies in the meantime. And maybe
strategizing from the grave.
Yeah, it could be, Maybe they're deciding, like, okay, let's leave the bottom lane alone and just go for the tier 4s, because one of those tier 4 towers is really low on HP. Yeah,
exactly right. 68 HP on that bad boy, and with the creeps coming in, they could do it. I mean, one positive team fight here, even if they just pick off PL when he doesn't have enough for buyback, may be enough for them to just push straight for the win at this point and say, forget about that bottom lane of Rax. PL does have a butterfly now, though, so he's adding to that sort of tankiness. I think that's a nice item choice. It gives him a nice mix of damage output, as well as tankiness, and as well as some of that attack speed that we were talking about is so valuable on PL. I think it's about time he gets rid of those Tranquil boots, though. Here, 47 minutes in, they're not doing much for him.
That is very true. I mean, I feel like at this point it's like it could go either way. It's a big turning point. Even though there's 2 barracks down, and even though I have to say Radiant side still looks very good, because I mean they can allow these kind of team wipes because the Dire side is not getting anything in return for it yet. But as soon as those towers start going down, as soon as there's really a good fight for the Dire team and they're going to be able to continue pushing, that's going to be ending really quick, and their window is closing right now, especially like I said with that butterfly there, 2500 gold up as well as the next diffusal blade level 2. It's starting to get pretty difficult, and there's a smoke up, and we as Asian, they want to go for this, they want to make this a 2-pointer.
Yeah, definitely right, and they very well may be able to do it. TA Illusion's going to walk by. There is an invisibility bottom. Not that it's a huge deal right here. Uh-oh, TA going to walk right into the danger zone. She's going to get dropped like she's hot. Down she goes. Instant buyback, though. The rest of the team needs to be careful. They don't want to engage until TA can get back to it. They're going to have to, though. BKB Exorcism going to be popped by Corobulus. We're going to see the hook shot come in as well. Veno going to be the first to fall. There's the Darkseer ulti as well. Ravage has been burned. Didn't do a hell of a lot of damage. I missed where it happened, but Tide looking like he's going to fall. Death Prophet in big trouble. Totally out of mana. She's going to be able to make it back, though. TA is back in the fight as well. But this Phantom Lancer doing so much damage. That's going to be the end of Furion. And we'll see. Uh-oh, TA going to get finished off. The hookshot going to come in. It's not going to be enough. Power Cogs going to come out. Clockwork maybe hurting himself more so than anything with those Power Cogs as he's stuck going toe-to-toe with PL. This fight not transpiring the way our Radiant team wanted. But uh-oh, Furion going to port top. He's going to try to make this push happen. Or at least pull some ports back so that their base stays alive. Yeah,
Darkseer does have boosted travel, and we have now also Phantom Lancer back here as well. It means that will be, that will have to be started backing out. I have to say, by the way, Tidehunter, like you said, you didn't see the Ravage. I think he force-staffed himself to the wrong location, because he force-staffed and he ravaged, but he force-staffed out of the fight rather than in of the fight.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I checked. I was going to say Ravage hasn't been used yet. I was like, oh, it's on cooldown. Okay, I don't know how I missed that giant graphic, but okay. That would explain
that
it.
That is why. I think that was a bit of a mistake there, and we have a disconnect going up from the Enigma. But I'd say that fight again, Dire team victory. In the meantime, I mean, the thing with leaving your base when you have 2 barracks down is just, you know, your tier 4s are going to take some heat. So the low tier 4 actually did drop, and they are forced to go back again afterwards with the siege creep being there as well. And look at the Dire courier.
Oh my.
It's gonna be fine here, but I think it flew over some creeps, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, only one tier 4 left.
Yeah, see, this is what's scary, and what I brought up earlier about 2 lanes of racks going down. Even though they're winning these team fights, even though PL is so farmed right now, TA can't go toe-to-toe with him, it kind of doesn't matter to some degree. They took that team fight in convincing manner in the Radiant jungle, but look at this nearby tier 2, still at absolutely full HP, sitting at 1600. So they just can't push. Even when they win these team fights, they're still not able to push and take an advantage as far as clearing another lane of racks. I think really this game is going to come down to who can get the 3rd Roche kill, who can get that Aegis, and the all-powerful Cheese.
Yeah, that Cheese is going to be the first one to drop, I think. Next time it's going to go down, I believe. Right? That's the 3rd time Roshan would die.
Yes, this will be number 3. So it's a big Roche kill coming up, and he's going to be popping up here in just about a minute or so. So that will be... By the way, since we're stuck in a pause here, if you look at that little clock on the Roche pit, do you know what those symbols mean?
No.
Are they just random symbols? Like, where did they come from? Why aren't they numbers? I don't understand what those symbols are.
I see a 6, a 7, a 5, a B, a 7 again, but then different.
Yeah.
A Z.
That's what I mean.
It's just pretty symbols. It's like
it's just cute. Okay.
Because you know
it's all about aesthetics. That's cool.
You can think like it's defense of the ancients, so it's an ancient language.
Some ancient language.
Yeah.
Some crazy humans that we can't read.
I
the
know.
language has been.
That's like just that.
The fairy language in True Blood.
Could be.
No, too far. Okay.
Yeah,
so hopefully Enigma can get back in here, though. This is one of these situations where, I mean, he's been disconnected for a while. Hopefully there isn't some sort of pressing issue where he lost internet or something. This game is all tied up 33-33, just about 50 minutes in. I mean, this is one hell of a match.
Yeah, and I have to say, like, as long as the Dire keeps winning team fights, this game could still go on for a very long time, depending on where they win team fights and what the situation on the map is, of course. But as soon as the Radiant win a team fight, it could be over in a second, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they manage to pick up a couple of heroes and manage to get a successful split push in.
Yep, I think you're exactly right. So it's a scary time. In that last fight, I did pull up the buyback status for that last big team fight, and everyone on the Radiant had either their timer up or enough gold to buy back, and only PL on the Dire side. So that is one thing that we'll probably have to start keeping tabs on at this point. How is the buyback status? So TA going to have another 3.5 minutes on that cooldown. Roche is going to be up before then as well. As in the last Roche fight, buybacks were absolutely key to the success of our Radiant team. So could be a little bit scary if Roche pops up, TA doesn't have a buyback. Ugh.
That will be tricky, even though at the same time, I mean, Phantom Lancer as well as the Darkseid as well as the Tidehunter are very close to having a buyback again. And of course, we can't really see the Enigma because he disconnected, but he does have buyback, I believe, or is very close to it. He doesn't have it, but he is very close to it as well. So they should have buyback again if they manage to pick up some farm. And we do see them taking some map control back because they have warded again, and that entire Roche area is theirs.
Yeah, that's a good thing to point out. And absolutely no coverage for our Radiant team. I don't think they have a single ward down on the map at all. No, they don't. So that is a pretty big disparity. Hopefully they're being wary of that Roche timer so that they don't get don't hand over a free Aegis. Handing over a free Aegis to PL is going to be a one-way ticket to taking a loss here in Game 2. And also, Enigma has picked up BKB. I'm not sure how long he's had it, but I believe last time we saw a black hole it did get interrupted, so that could be a tide-turning item pickup as well.
Yep, indeed, and I mean, you said that map control. He still has that gem. I mean, yes, it dropped, and then the Nature's Prophet picked it up, and then Nature's Prophet died, and then Enigma picked it up again. So it keeps switching hands, but it's coming back to the Enigma again, so they can have that map control. And the Radiant team, they're not buying a gem right now. They don't really feel like they need to, and like you said, I mean, I'm hoping they have that Roche timer there and feel confident enough to take it without the vision, because they're going to have to do it without. Yeah.
Absolutely right. So, interestingly enough, Death Prophet, she split her... Okay, what happened here? She split her boots, and what happened to the energy booster? Where did it go?
Energy booster vanished.
Why is she on great boots at the moment?
She had the Tranquil boots, didn't she?
No, she had Arcane boots at one point. So I was convinced that she was going to go for a Bloodstone instead of that heart because she had the Arcane boots, and I thought she would split it, but now she's just on gray boots. I don't know what happened.
Maybe she sold it to be able to get enough gold for buyback or the Ghost Scepter. I mean, the Ghost Scepter is going to be the only thing they really can do against that Phantom Lancer, and I guess, like, at some point the captain shouted, "Everybody get a Ghost Scepter right now!" And I was like, okay. Well,
Very well.
And Bushan.
Honestly, that makes the most sense of anything else I could come up with in my head, so we'll just go ahead and go with, you're right.
Yay.
But Roche is under attack. He's already down to about half health. If they want to defend this or challenge it, they need to do it now. And it looks like, well, they're at least going to scout it out. TA going to go straight in here, and there we go. They're just going to go head on in the Roche pit. Gravulus going to start things off. Does have the Exorcism. Darkseer taking a hell of a lot of damage. Darkseer going to be the first to fall. Down he goes. That's going to be the only kill so far. Enigma has the BKB on. Not yet finding the opportunity for the big black hole. Tide going to be the next to go down. That's going to be a 2-for-0. Down goes Furion. I don't know if he has enough for the buyback. It's not looking like it. TA going to fall as well. That's going to make it a 2-for-2. Of course, PL is still alive. Roche still sitting at half health. And looks like the Dire is going to be able to repel. And I think they may be able to secure this Roche kill. But look at that. Clockwork on the side. He's got a hook shot. He wants to make something happen. He wants to go in to steal it. And he's not going to be able to do it. Enigma going to be a step ahead. He's going to come up and ruin his day. And that'll make it a 3-for-3 as Venno got taken out as well. Roche falls. And PL picks up the Aegis.
Yeah, and she's going towards the Enigma, dropping his soul ring on the floor with that. And yeah, I mean, that fight, it was very even. And that just shows the state of the game. But because the Phantom Lancer stayed alive, he was able to just make sure that, you know, he's going to get that. Yeah. And he picked up Boots of Travel. He's got 4,600 gold. The only downside is, with him having the Aegis, I mean, he wasn't really dying all that much anyway.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
He now misses an item slot. He could have bought something else maybe if he gets enough farm, but right now he has to wait until either 6 minutes are over before the Aegis disappears, or, you know, they have to force out a team fight where it's actually dropping, which I don't think is going to happen anytime soon because he is so tanky right now.
Yeah, absolutely right. But while all that was going on, the creeps did push in, and look at that tier 4 tower. There's only one left, and it's almost in deny range. So that is really scary. Even if the Hellborn, or the Dire team can win a positive fight coming up, they have no breathing room left in their base. They have to have some
Nature's Prophet. He is gonna TP into their base, gonna create some trees. There is the Necronomicus as well, and was gonna TP out straight after. Still gets vacuumed in though. Wasn't out in time, but the treants and the thingies are still gonna go towards the tier 4 tower. Are they gonna be able to get it? We are not seeing it because we're following up our char. Who's gonna go down? Yeah. And there goes the tower still though. I think they could have better gone for these treants rather than going for maybe Nature's Prophet, but yeah, tier 4 tower going down. They should have split up their expenses, their forces, but yeah, that was indeed tier 4 down.
So there you go, one last push, and that's all it's going to take for this game. Still unbelievably close. Now, one thing that they do need, though, I think this TA desperately needs an MKB. He's only got 2,500 in the bank, but they need something to counter that butterfly, and that's going to be the golden ticket to get rid of that evasion. It's going to be a long while before TA can farm that up, and this game very well may be over before that's the case. For the first time, we see our dire side getting a little bit aggressive here. Unicorn in the front lines with almost 7k gold. He has the Aegis. Even if they can take him down twice, which, as you mentioned, is going to be a very uphill battle, he's going to have enough gold for an instant buyback. Tier 2 in the mid going to fall.
Yep, it looks like they're on the roll. Have the lanes pushed out. They have the opportunity to do this as well. And they're just going to go for these tier 3s. Let's see what the Radiant has to say about this one. Just some harassment coming out only so far. Some traps,
Whiff is still
stuns, tier 3 tower. They're just going to go for these towers and for these barracks. They want these fortification going off. There it goes. Templar assassin going to get forced back again. That's going to be
this is not looking good.
Pukin, there he goes, past clockwork. Battery assault on there, popped his Ghost Scepter, but he's going to go down anyway. And there goes the Quicks as well. BKB on, Exorcism on, a hip hop not pop, trying to get away. Black Hole being casted, catches 2 heroes as well, and picks off the Rubik, the most important one there. No stolen Black Hole for you. Nature's Prophet gonna go down here as well. Buyback from the Rubik, buyback from the TA. Rabbit's being used by Crit, who is very low and might still drop here as well. He's on 50 HP, will be backing up there. Rampage from Unicorn. He is just soloing the entire team right now. Buyback from the Death Prophet. But the barracks are down, and Unicorn, he just wants to go for the tier 4s. He wants to try to go for the GG. Will be able to do so. Quick's trying to do what he can. He's going to be sitting invisible with the Shadow Amulet being picked up. But it is the tier 4s. And he still has the Aegis as well. Look at his gold. He's got 11,000 gold. It is Quicks that is just going to get harassed here. This Phantom Lancer is out of this world right now. And he is actually... there's another tier 4 there for you, Unicorn, if you want to pick it up. Yeah, there you go.
Yep. I think that's going to be enough to seal the deal. Death Prophet going to go down. No buybacks left. Rubik, the only one left alive. As you said, he still has the Aegis. More than enough gold to buy back, buy a couple of Divine Rapiers while he's at it, and then just head back down to the World Tree. So that's going to do it. PL, the ultimate hard carry in this match. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. He doesn't need to he doesn't need to back up here. He ain't afraid of no ghosts. It's not over yet, but he's still going for it. He's just going to go ahead and right-click the Ancient.
He doesn't care about the heroes. That's a shame. No more battles for you. No more illusions for him either. And Pass, he still wants to go for it. Getting a stun there. But, you know, his barracks he wants for it. And there's the GG gold. So it's going to be 2 points going the way of WhA has Asian. Surprisingly so, because I really thought that uebelst had this in the bag.
Wow, so did I. I am shocked. I knew Phantom Lancer could hard carry, but that redefined the term hard carry for me. They were so far down. They held off 2 lanes of racks for so long. I think statistically it's pretty rare that a team that loses 2 lanes of racks when they have none themselves actually comes back. Very, very well done. And we were skeptical.
Boots of travel.
Yeah, the boots of travel. I mean, we were skeptical early on. Are they making the right decisions, not taking these team fights, allowing PL just to keep farming? And in the end, it worked out. So... lesson I learned, never underestimate a Phantom Lancer. No,
definitely not. Especially not a free farming Phantom Lancer with 12,000 gold in the end. I was actually, you know, when they started running down the mid lane, actually, you know, that last run down the mid lane that PL did, I was going to suggest maybe a Rapier would be the way to turn it around, but he didn't even need that, and his Aegis is still up there as well. I mean, he's 18 for 5. It wasn't such a kill-heavy game, I have to say, but, geez, that Phantom Lancer is just so deadly.
Almost 700 last hits on Phantom Lancer. That is by far the most last hits I've seen on a single hero. That is ridiculous in 56 minutes.
That is quite insane indeed. Well, anyway, this was game 2 of GosuLeague Division 2. WhA Asian up against uebelst. WhA Asian took down 2 games, so 2 points for them. As this is a league system, so everybody gets points for wins, and at the end of the season, the team with the most points wins. And WhA Asian now having 2 more points in their pocket. We might have another GosuLeague game opportunity maybe, but the starting time was actually at 10 and I'm not quite sure if we're going to be able to catch that still. We will find out shortly though, maybe more Dota 2 coming up. Stay tuned for that, and otherwise have a good night. My name is Sheever, I'm casting with Zyori. Do you have any shoutouts, by the way?
Sure. Well, you can find everything about me at Zyori.tv. Of course, is my website, and Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff is just /ZyoriTV. So I'm a pretty easy guy to find, but it's been an absolute pleasure. Shout out to you for allowing me to come on. I'm glad we finally got to sit down and cast some games together. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. I had had fun as well. I mean, for the people watching, this was actually the first 2 games that we ever casted together, and actually
first time we've ever even talked to each other.
Exactly. And I have to say, I think it went pretty well. Yeah.
I absolutely agree.
If you can say that about ourselves. We have to, of course, have the viewers give their opinion about it. Anyway, we are going to jump ourselves out of this game, and we're going to see what's up next, so stay tuned for that, and otherwise, have a good night.